You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Wednesday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby.
Was able to get a nice fix of hockey yesterday with Free Agent Frenzy. My score app there was going crazy all day, although the Leafs barely did squat.
Well, I mean, listen, it didn't matter what the Leafs did. It didn't matter what any of the other teams did. The Detroit Red Wings signed James Van Riemsdyk to a one-year contract. Stanley Cup is coming back to Hockey Town,
Nothing
baby.
like signing a guy in the peak of his career, right?
I think I saw him described in one article as well-traveled, and I was like, oof.
I was thinking, though, to be a guy who's like, you know, I'm going to test the waters. I'm going to look for a new contract,
Right.
look for a new team, and then you don't get an offer on July 1st.
Gotta be tough.
That's gotta suck so bad, right? That's gotta ruin your summer. Like, every day that goes on a little bit, you're like, every phone call you get, you're like,
Right.
please.
Right, you just applied for the job of your dreams, and you're waiting by the phone for the phone call.
Well, this is the equivalent of, like, you remember when you were a teenager and you go and hand out resumes, or even if
Yeah.
you've lost your job,
Right.
and you're trying to get work, there's nothing worse than just waiting for that phone call.
Even if you want to take it in a different direction, you just made plans with, like, that girl or that guy that you've had a crush on.
Yeah.
You ask them out, and you're waiting for the response, and it's like, you almost feel like your life cannot continue until you have some resolution to this thing.
Well, and then it's gonna suck even more because you're seeing the numbers come in of, like, what other people are getting paid,
Right.
and then you see a guy like Matt Murray sign another one-year deal, or James Van Riemsdyk, and you're like, what the hell, man?
Oh, you're telling me that guy's better than me? I'm sitting over here with nothing, and that guy's got a job now?
The anticipation of waiting. It's like, I don't know if you ever had to get an STI test before, but the stress is waiting for that phone call. Every call that you get, you're like, please.
I am not prepared to move on with my life until I have the results I need.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I wasn't fired from my job. I was laid off. Well, you wouldn't know the difference. I didn't want salmon. I said it 4 times.
You know, a friend of the show, Jesse, brought up a good point. We were talking about free agents not getting contracts yesterday.
Right.
And he said, saying I'm a free agent is actually the best way to say you don't have a job.
Oh, I mean, it really does make you sound like people are inquiring about you. You're highly sought after.
You got like an awkward family dinner and some people are like, what's going on with work right now? You're like, I'm on a free agent, or like, hey, I'm in the waiver wire right now.
Yeah. I'm up for grabs. I'm entertaining some different offers from some different outfits and stuff like that.
I'm currently just freelancing right now.
I'm exploring my options, seeing what's out there before I make my choice.
It's kind of the same terms people use when they're single, right?
yeah.
I think you could say.
Right, yeah. I'm not single. I'm just taking some time to learn to love myself.
Yeah, I'm taking a break. I'm taking a hiatus.
I'm in between some things right now. Works for both a relationship or a job. It's like, you know what? I was here. I'm on my way to here, but I'm not there yet.
You could pull the I'm temporarily retired right now.
Oh, yeah. I've taken myself off the market.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just not ready.
I'm getting some me time. Yeah, I'm doing this for me.
I'm not unemployed. I'm pre-employed.
Yeah. I'm just doing my own thing right now.
Doing some self-reflection before I get back in the game and hit the ground running.
Yeah, I'm not touring right now. Kind of like an oasis. You know?
Yeah. We're looking at some residency gigs, but for right now, we're just taking some time for ourselves.
I'll see when I have a reunion.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Familiar with the term brain rot?
Yeah.
It's all these weird sayings and catchphrases and things the kids have. My partner Mallory and I were talking yesterday about what was the 90s equivalent of brain rot, things that stood out to us. And we both remembered this Geico commercial. You remember this one?
I'd like to make a collect call, please. First name Bob. Last name is We Oughta Baby Eats a Boy.
Oh.
And then the grandma picks it up.
I call for Mr. Bob. We Oughta Baby Eats a Boy.
Sorry, wrong number.
Who's that, dear?
Bob, they had a baby. It's a boy.
Such a dumb commercial, but like I can remember walking around as a kid being, "We Oughta Baby Eats a Boy."
Well, even, I mean, your kids will never experience doing collect calls, just thinking about it now.
That's the thing, man. Like I've made collect calls. Like when I went to college, I didn't have my own phone line. I would have to go to a payphone, Yes, a payphone. And call my parents collect to like check in every week.
Same thing when I went to summer camp where it was like, Mom, I miss you. I want to come home.
At college, there was a phone bank right by like the area where I took my classes. It looked like those scenes you see in prison where all the inmates line up for their phone calls. And it was just people making collect calls to their parents being like, hey, I'm still alive.
People would do it at the mall too. Like, Mom, please come pick me up.
Yeah. There's even a TikTok that went viral last week of some, I think like late teens, maybe early 20s person, and they're in a hotel room. And they're like, guys, I'm freaked out. I'm in this hotel room and, there's this weird plug-in in the wall. I'm like, I don't know what it's for or what to do. Like, should I be worried about this hole in the wall? It was the landline phone jack. It was like, just had no idea
There's
what could go in
probably
there.
so many kids that aren't growing up with landlines because, I mean, like, we don't have one in our house anymore.
I don't think my kids, who are turning 9 and 11 in the next week, have ever used a home phone line.
I mean, even another thing, just thinking now, kids today don't have to memorize phone numbers. I remember I had all my friends' phone numbers memorized, or even we had the little black phone book at the house.
Right? Yeah, your address book. Like now, it's all in your cell phone. It's all your contacts. My partner and I were talking about this the other day. I have no idea. If you offered me $1,000 right now on the air to tell you my partner's phone number, I could not do it. But I'll send her a message on Facebook saying good morning. That's how we talk nowadays.
There's so many things that your kids will never get to experience. Calling the movie theater to hear the pre-recorded message of all the showtimes.
The old Mr. Movie phone?
Yeah.
Having to punch in letter by letter the name of the movie.
Even looking at the newspaper to see the movie times.
Oh, dude. My kids will never have to worry about going to the drugstore to buy a TV guide just to know what to watch this
Your
week.
kids will never have to rewind a VHS tape unless they become hipsters.
That part I don't mind. Honestly, I did not want to Be Kind rewind.
Kids today don't know the struggle of watching a TV show that you hate because it's the only thing that's on the kids channel right now.
That's the only show. Everything else is news or HGTV. All I want is a cartoon, and this is all I've got.
It also makes me sad to think that with all these Ring doorbell cameras out there, there's a generation of kids who will never get to nicky 9 doors or set dog poop on fire in front of someone's house.
As a homeowner, I'm actually quite okay with that change in the system.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
We got friend of the show, Chris, on the phone. What's something kids will never get to experience?
Having to call up a girl's house and speak to her father and ask permission to talk to her.
Oh, God. Kids will never know the fear, man.
Oh, man. Heart pounding.
You'd practice the speech. Like, you'd sit in front of the phone and be like, hi, Mr. So-and-so.
It's like getting ready for a job interview.
Is such and such there? I'd like to speak to your daughter, please.
Kids don't know the struggle.
Seriously, man.
On the other side of things, though, I also feel like as a father, I'm never going to get to know what it's like to get to be the intimidating person on the other end of the phone call.
Yeah, I'd get your voice all deep.
None of Alex's friends have ever called. We don't have a house phone. They've never had to call through me to get to them.
Yeah.
I feel like
You're missing out.
I've been robbed of an experience.
We got Iron Mike on the line, too. What do you think?
Well, they won't get their homework wiped out by a fridge magnet because the floppy disk came too close to it.
Oh, I remember that era of having work on disk and having to be real careful with it, but also being able to tell you didn't do the assignment. We all know you didn't. You tell the teacher, magnets, man.
Yeah, it worked.
Also, I mean, if you're going to talk about anything with computers, kids today have no idea what it's like to try and download a photo of a naked woman on your computer and wait 30 minutes and get like half of a nipple. Or even, I mean, just giving your computer like AIDS trying to download a new song off of LimeWire.
My kids will never know what it's like to risk it all for the new Blink-182 song, man.
Yeah.
Only to, in the end, get, I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Someone else just texted in and said there is a place in the near distant future where kids just won't drive.
Damn. With the self-driving Teslas and the
if
robo-taxis.
It keeps going that way, yeah.
There is a generation at some point that two people like us will be waxing poetic about, like, man, it's crazy that kids today will never know what it's like to manually drive a car.
Yeah.
That's a scary thought.
It's weird to think there's a generation of kids that won't have DUIs.
Well, they'll find a way. As long as there's bikes, there's still a chance.
Yeah.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I don't know if you realized or not, but We are officially 6 months into the year, as it is officially July now.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we're halfway there, man.
I had not realized that you have just given me anxiety.
Well, and usually at the 6-month mark and at the end of the year, we like to do recaps of everything that's happened. So I'm going to put 30 seconds on the clock.
Okay.
I went through some of my notes from stuff that we've talked about, big major events this year.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you everything that has happened so far this year.
This always hurts a little bit because time is so hard to keep track of in this modern age for some reason. And it's always like, oh my God, all of that was 6 months.
I'm going to try and get everything that I have written down here.
Okay.
If you want to count me in from 3 to 1.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Tariffs, the booze pulled off of Canadian shelves, more plane crashes, Canada won the Four Nations Cup, Trudeau resigned, Mark Carney became the prime minister, then called an election, then won the election. Doug Ford was reelected as well. Also, don't forget about Dougie threatening to turn the power off. The Dougie rebate checks were a thing. TikTok shut off in the States for a few days there. The Eagles won the Super Bowl, OKC in basketball. The Panthers won the Stanley Cup. There's the whole egg crisis. Oh, my God. I didn't even get halfway through my list.
Feels like you didn't even scratch the surface.
There's the ice storm. The astronauts returned from the International Space Station.
Yeah.
Trump and Elon had the fallout. Some 41 called it quits.
I mean, you could even start with Trump and Elon had the bromance, then they had the fallout. So many things with different bands.
The JFK files were released. Warped
Nobody
Tour
cared.
came back. Ringo Starr claimed he never ate pizza.
That's right. I forgot about that one.
Health Canada recalled hash. There's that Turkish town that got everyone stoned.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, there was the goose that fought an eagle.
Yeah. That was a huge thing for
That
about
thief
a week.
that swallowed $1 million in jewelry.
Right. All the people who stole all the farm products, all the thousands of dollars of eggs that went missing.
Ovechkin broke Gretzky's record.
Oh, yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
That's great.
30 seconds was not enough time. And that, I feel like I'm not even scratching the surface. That was just stuff that I was like scrambling through my notes trying to figure out.
That was stuff that was big enough for us to put into like sort of kind of news or to riff about, but even then beyond that.
We got a new pope. The pope died.
We got a new pope.
Yeah.
The vice president of the United States killed the pope and we had to get a new one. That's crazy.
Sperm racing became a thing too. How did I not mention that?
How do you forget sperm racing?
How do I go from the pope to sperm racing is the real thing.
Your brain is a beautiful mind.
The Brock and Dalby podcast.
The Brock and Dalby podcast.
Man, there's so many things that happened this year that we forgot about. I mean, right off the bat, how did we forget about Katy Perry going to space?
Becoming an astronaut. Please use the proper terminology. Give her the respect that she deserves.
Someone else said the scientists bringing back the dire wolf was another thing.
That's right.
You had the blackout in Spain as well.
The wildfires in Los Angeles at the beginning of the year.
Was that this year?
That was January, I believe.
Val Kilmer died. I didn't even think about all the people that died. Val Kilmer, George Foreman, I'm pretty sure, Gene Hackman as well.
Yeah.
Brian
Gene
Wilson
Hackman.
just passed.
That's right.
David Lynch.
It's been a tough year for celebrities already, and we are just into July currently.
Someone texted in, truck nuts are illegal in Idaho.
Maybe not the biggest international story, but I very much do recall being so proud of Idaho for having the balls to do what needed to be done.
We got friend of the show, Drew, on the phone. Drew, you wanted to share something with everyone?
Well, as of now, what are we today, July 2nd, we are now officially closer to the year 2050 than we are the year 2000. So take that and think about that today.
Hey, Drew, can I ask you a question?
Yep.
How dare you? What the hell, man?
That's crazy,
Yeah, sorry,
man.
brother. Yeah, you're going to have to live with that now.
I woke up this morning and was just like, okay, just another day to go to work. Not realizing somebody was just going to step on my brain.
Yeah, I destroyed the next 25 years for you.
Man, it's weird to think that, when people used to refer to 30 years ago, they were talking about the 70s. Now they're talking about the 90s.
Shut up, all right?
Yeah, well, if they did Back to the Future now, they would be going back to the 90s, I believe. So there's another one.
Thanks for the fun phone call.
Yeah, man. Enjoy your day, boy.
We're all just getting old, eh?
The Brock and Dalby podcast.
Now, I know last week your soccer game got canceled. So
Due to the weather,
you
yeah.
were 1-0 still. Did you have a game on Monday? Do you have an update for us?
The white team did play on Monday. We played against the yellow team that kind of looked green, and we accidentally called them green the whole time, and their coach was definitely getting pissed off about it by the end. But in the end, we won, baby.
2-0 now?
2-0, and not only a win. And listen, I'm not trying to run. It's U9 House League soccer.
No, brag, man.
12-2.
12-2?
Big win for the Whites.
Absolute whooping there.
Just kind of, at one point, I even took, because we've got a couple of strikers. I mentioned Mateo last time we were playing.
Give the ball to the Italians.
Another kid named Matt, who he came for his first game this week. He was a beauty, had a hell of a strike. And every time they got the ball, the yellow team, they didn't have a goalie. Like, they didn't have a dedicated goalie, so they were just cycling kids through the shooting range, basically.
Yeah.
Every time these kids touched the ball, they were putting it in the net. So at one point, I was like, all right, why don't you guys take a turn on defense and put some of our otherly skilled
lay
players.
up a little bit on them.
We tried to lay up a little bit, but at the same time, like, I didn't know if I should, because it was clearly obvious what we were doing. And I was like, is this going to rub it? Is this make it worse to the other team that, like, we are intentionally not trying to run it up now?
It's good sportsmanship on your part, but, man, I've said it before. You got to teach these kids what losing is all about. They got to know what it's like to lose.
Well, I mean, 12-2, they figured it out.
Yeah.
At one point, I also heard, and this is tough, because, again, it's supposed to be just for fun. This is not a highly competitive league. But I heard one of the kids on the yellow team talking to the coach during, like, a substitution break, like, have we ever won? I'm like, well, the season's still early, little fella. Everything's going to be okay.
How satisfied did you feel after that W, though?
Oh, dude, because as the coach, it's also, like, part of my responsibility to, like, take the equipment to the shed and, like, clean up, right?
Sure.
I do feel, I usually stand about 6'3". As time goes on, I'm getting closer to 6'2". I might have been 6'5" walking through that field.
Yeah.
Just standing real upright with my son under my arm. We did it, buddy. We're the winners.
That must have felt so good. 3 cheers for the green team.
Dude, you know what's not a thing anymore? 3 cheers. Or at least, like, these kids have never heard of it.
Yeah.
I rallied them around after both games now. I was like, all right, 3 cheers. Hip, hip. And the kids all looked at me. I'm like, hooray. And, oh, okay. Hip, hip. Hooray. And then I did the old, and one for the other team. And they're like, good job, guys. And just walked away. I'm like, no.
I kind of like the vibe that your team has. They're like, we won. Why are we celebrating these losers right now?
Honestly, I didn't even want to do the handshake line. They were just like, all right, game's over, right? I get to go back to my van now.
You're breeding champions right now. The money line is looking good for the white team right now.
That's right. For all you degenerates out there trying to gamble on my U9 soccer team, bet it all on white, baby.
Friend of the show, Shannon, did bring up a good point that you have to stop referring to them as the white team.
It is tough when I catch myself going, it's a great day for the whites. And everybody looks at me and I'm like, soccer team, the white soccer team specifically. Because that's the thing is in this league, all the team, like there's
just
no
colors.
There are no team names. It's just whatever color your shirt is. So I was thinking maybe what we should do, because they won't change it with the league, but like we should give the team a name here so that we have something to refer to them when we give the bettors their updates.
Sure.
And I was thinking, like, you know, a lot of times when we try to name stuff, we'll, like, name it after, like, musicians or bands or stuff like that. Like, instead of the Beatles, they could be the Cleatles.
The Cleatles?
Yeah, you know, because the shoes.
That works pretty good, yeah.
The Tragically Kicked would also work.
Okay. I think you got to lean into the white angle,
You
actually.
think we go whites?
I mean, the white stripes has worked. Do you guys have stripes on the jerseys?
We
or no?
don't, but I mean, that's only a Sharpie away.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Who's to say we couldn't add our own stripes?
You could be the White Rabbits or the Jefferson Airplanes.
White Rabbit is hilarious, being that it is a kid's soccer team. Like, Coach, what's a white rabbit? It's like, go ask your dad.
You could be the Pretty Flies.
The Pretty Fly for a white, guys?
Yeah.
That's good.
You don't
That
need to
makes
put the
think.
parentheses in there.
That's right. We're the Pretty Flies, and then, you know, you think about it. We could just be the Great Whites. That actually feels like it's actually more problematic than the original thing.
That
Never
feels
mind.
way worse than just saying the white team.
What about the White Weddings?
the White Weddings?
Little Billy Idol?
Yeah,
That could be
White
all right.
Hot.
White Hot is good. The White Lightning?
Oh, Glorious Sons.
Well, yeah, and also Moonshine.
Yeah. The Barry Whites would be funny too.
Barry Whites?
None of the kids would get that.
Absolutely not. But all of our cheers, the hip hip hooray is in a real deep voice.
Is it just a boys' league or is it like boys and girls?
It is U9 boys. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say you could be the non-gender specific team in the bright white sports car.
You know what? Honestly, that's still, even though it is a boys' league,
2025.
that is still being very, very woke. I like that.
Either that or call them the Arctic Cats.
The Arctic Cats?
Like the snowmobile company.
Oh, okay, because the Arctic White, yeah.
And then every time they score, you go, brap, 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 brap.
We're the two strokes for sure.
Yes, yes.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Today we asked the question, what do you think the K word is? We got some very interesting guesses at 762-555, but only one person actually figured it out.
What is it?
It's Karen.
Oh.
When you call someone a Karen. And of course, it's the standard. It's someone who feels entitled, thinks that they have privilege.
They want to speak to the manager.
They want to speak to the manager. But a woman sued her ex-employer for wrongful termination over in the UK. They went to a tribunal court.
Okay.
And the lawyer for this woman accused the company that fired her client of Karen behavior, saying that they were using their position of privilege to hold down their client and lording over them and that sort of thing. And the judge actually stopped the court case to tell the lawyer that that was unacceptable, that it's a pejorative term, basically meaning it's an insult, that is borderline racist,
really
sexist, and ageist, because a Karen is typically a white, middle-aged woman. So by using that, you are basically putting someone in
threw the case out because of that?
A very specific, well, it also turned out that this woman was kind of crazy.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely held it as a strike against the plaintiff and the lawyer.
The judge was like, you can't be a Karen and call someone a Karen.
You can't be just throwing the K word around.
I do feel
court.
bad for Karens because, you know, your mom's a Karen.
My mom is a Karen.
Sweet, amazing lady.
One of the kindest Karens you'll ever meet.
But I feel like people get so upset about Karen. What about Dick, though? You know, the Richards and Dicks of the world... They don't get as upset as the Karens do.
I think that's it. If you're a dick, at least you can hide behind Richard. Karens are just out there in the open.
But Karen is just a dick, the female version.
But that's the thing is, a Karen is a very specific thing, right? Again, white, middle-aged woman.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can be a dick. Dick is actually, when you think about it, tough for the Richards of the world out there, but a very inclusive insult.
It is gender neutral, I guess.
That's right.
Yeah,
literally anybody you meet today, regardless of age, race, gender, economy, any of that, they could be a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody you meet might be a dick.
I was trying to think of more names that have like this connotation, but like this negative connotation. I mean, I guess there's Chad.
Right. Yeah.
But
Chad
I feel
and
like
Kyle.
if anyone that's a Chad, like they don't care if you call them a Chad.
I still feel like most Chads think it's a compliment, which is a very Chad way of thinking, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And that would almost be the opposite, right? Because when you think Chad, it's still white, but it's male. And usually, like, younger, like in your 20s or
super
something
broy,
like that.
yeah.
And also, Chad on the internet has kind of become associated with being jacked. It is like a musclehead kind of thing. But if someone said all Drews are ripped, I would be pretty pumped about that.
I know, actually, yeah, right? The Kyle one is just you like to punch drywall and drink Monster Energy.
Also, you kind of like to party and you're a little bit extreme. Like, Karen is pure negative. There's no, like, upside to the Karen insult. Whereas some of these other ones, it's like, I get where you could be maybe flattered by
Karen
this.
has its own haircut, too.
That's the worst part, right? It is a white, middle-aged woman who usually just got out of a salon and did not have a good
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
With the 4th of July coming up, we figured the next few days we are going to play America. And every day we are going to give you an impression of something that Americans love.
Yes.
And if you can do it good enough for us, you will win the lottery tickets, which today is $100 in Lotto 649 tickets.
$14 million gold ball jackpot happening tonight. $1 million guaranteed prize if no one wins the big one. Plus the classic $5 million jackpot also up for grabs.
I was thinking, what do Americans love? They love guns. So we were asking you to be an AR-15 this morning.
All you have to do is fire off a clip, and whoever does the best out of our three shooters on the line today will get the $100 in Lotto 649.
You are not one of our 3 shooters. That does mean that you are a judge, so judge accordingly. 762-555. We start on line 1 here. Hey, good morning. Who's this?
Hey, this is Eric.
Eric, are you ready to play?
Oh, hell yeah, boys.
All right, we need a little AR-15 action from you, buddy. Can you do that for us?
Sure thing.
Yeah, good duration.
Why does that sound like my car when it won't start in the winter? All right, Eric, stay on hold. Good job.
January does hit hard on the old engine block.
All right, let's go to line 2. Hey, good morning. Who's this?
Matt.
Matt, are you ready to play?
Ready to go.
All right. Seems to be an AR-15. Let's hear it, Matt.
Is that shells hitting the ground? Is that what that was?
That was.
Well done. Well done. Nice little touch there.
Very good, Matt.
All right, Matt, stay on hold. We go to line 3 here. Hey, good morning. Who's this?
Hey, it's Chris.
Chris, all right, you are our final contestant today for... What do you think of the competition so far?
That's not too bad.
Not too bad. All right, well, Chris, let's see if you can top him.
It's your AR-15, my friend.
All right, do my best.
The way that the phone started to like phase out made it sound like a Vietnam helicopter.
Yeah, we weren't doing Taco Bell farts today. Stay on hold. I think it's got to be line 2.
3 very different takes. I think all very much know what the sound of freedom sounds like, but you're right. I think Matt is the most free.
Matt, are you still there, buddy?
I am.
Congratulations. You get a ding and a round of applause. That was freedom at its finest right there, my friend. If you do happen to win the big jackpot tonight, you got some nickels and dimes for the fellas over here?
Oh, I think we can round up some $100 bills for the boys.
Woo! Bear arms for everybody!
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Would you rather? Wednesday. Would you rather Wednesday?
All right, yeah, let's get weird. 762-555. First one in here says, would you rather have had Monday off or today off?
I still think I would have rather had Monday off. And again, the big thing is I'm not much of a drinker. I really don't drink. So the idea of being able to have some like Canada Day drinks and then sleep it off today isn't as appealing to me as 4 set days in a row where I don't have to get up at 4 in the morning.
Did suck having to come to work on Monday.
It made no sense. No one was even here.
But also, I got invited to like 3 different like parties yesterday.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I was like, I can't come.
It was also kind of a bummer, like going to bed and hearing fireworks in the distance.
Yeah.
And just being like, well, this is just keeping me awake
right?
now.
Someone said, would you rather have your neighbors set off fireworks at 2 a.m. or always be making loud, passionate love?
The neighbor is always making passionate love?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, set off some fireworks. I don't want to hear.
Which fireworks do you want to hear?
I don't want to hear those go off. I just want to put some nice lights in the sky. I'm also, myself, kind of a heavy sleeper, so I feel like at some point, if he's doing 2 a.m. fireworks every night, my brain will just block them out.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know if I get to sleep if I'm hearing.
It's also easier to confront your neighbor about fireworks than it is them having passionate fireworks.
Right. I can call the bylaw about the fireworks at 2 a.m. every night, but I don't feel like I've got much of a legal ground to stand on to ask him to stop attempting to procreate.
Yeah.
It's not my place.
It's hard to look your neighbor in the eye after you heard their vinegar strokes. You know? Someone said, would you rather have sand stuck in your tuchus permanently or a mosquito bite that never goes away?
Oh, I think I would say the sand.
Yeah?
Have you ever scratched yourself open with a mosquito bite?
Now, the thing is, can you use afterbite? Because I was going to say, if you can at least,
Right.
find a loophole in it.
But I mean, if I can use afterbite on the mosquito bite, couldn't I just use water or lotion?
But the sand's always going to be there.
Yeah, but if it's lotioned up enough, I mean, listen, as a guy who sweats a lot, I don't notice a lot of what's going on
You just
back
permanently give yourself a wedgie. You know when you're chafing, you ever do that? Where you stuff up your wedgie up the crack
just
there?
to try and stop it from
Mask
all
it a little
moving
bit.
around. Yeah, I think that both are obviously a miserable existence.
Yeah.
But I have seen people claw themselves open trying to scratch mosquito bites, so I feel like I'll take the sand.
Yeah. Someone said, would you rather find out your whole life has been a dream and you just wake up, or would you rather find out that you're a robot?
Oh, I think I'd rather find out I'm a robot. You ever have one of those dreams where you wake up and you go to work and you're getting ready for your day and then you wake up and turns out you didn't do any of that? Now imagine if it was 40 years that you'd gone through and having to do it all over again.
Although, imagine if you woke up and you were like 10 again and you were just a kid.
Yeah.
That'd be way better than all of a sudden just having this complex of being like obviously nothing's real in both situations, but then realizing that you yourself are programmed.
I don't know, man. I think I would have like a breakdown. If I woke up and I was 10 again, you think about it, right? That means I never met my wife. I've never met the partner I'm with now. I never had any of my kids. I never met you. I never did this show.
Yeah.
I got to start all over again, but I'm going to remember all those things.
I don't know. If I found out I was a robot, I'd be like, who made me? You're terrible.
What did you do to me?
Yeah.
Also depends on what kind of robot you are. Like, am I waking up like an iRobot situation, or am I like a self-driving taxi in Austin, Texas?
Sure.
Right? That's a bummer.
Okay, final one we'll wrap up with here. Would you rather be in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest on the 4th of July, or would you rather have to play in the Masters on the PGA Tour?
Oh, I'll give me the 4th of July thing.
I think that's the move.
I actually have a chance. Listen, none of us are going to beat Joey Chestnut, but I'm not even going to make the day one cut at the Masters.
I 100% agree with you, just on the sole basis that the hot dog contest is honestly less shame. And you may be sitting there being like, no, that's disgusting. Why would you want to be on TV? No. Think about this. The hot dog contest lasts a minute.
Yeah.
Versus you got to play at least one round at the Masters and be a spaz on TV.
Well, and I'm pretty sure now that I think of it, they don't even cut people until after the second round.
Oh, God.
I'm playing 36 holes of the most miserably average or below average
We're
golf.
not going to go viral at the Nathan's hot dog eating contest,
No.
but you will go viral at the Masters.
People are going to think I'm a Make-A-Wish kid if they put me out at Augusta.
Nobody remembers the losers in a hot dog eating contest. Remember that.
Want to be a part of the podcast?
Leave a message on the Bad Line.
The Bad Line is the answering machine for the Brock and Dalby Show.
To get the number, text the word BAD to 762-555.
Thanks for listening to the Brock and Dalby podcast.